Jose and the computer glitch. I received a message telling me about a computer glitch and I could get $3,200. But since I don't have Cash App, I would need a reference number, but I'd need a $100 Apple gift card to get it. This started with Jose messaging me saying I commented on his post and I told him I guess I did. He told me congratulations and asked if I have Cash App working or not. I told him no, and he said I need to download it and set it up. Jose told me to let him know once I downloaded it, and I told him that I don't do Cash App. He asked why, and I told him I don't trust it. He asked me if $3,200 was deposited into my Cash App, what would I use it for? He told me to trust him. I told him I won't, and refused to get it, and why would anyone give away $3,200? He said to believe him that it's absolutely real. He told me it's an ongoing program established by Cash App Glitch to help anyone who uses Cash App. I told him, so it sounds like stealing. Jose told me nope, and I can download Cash App and see how it works, and I will appreciate him later. I told him I had a friend lose money this way falling for that, and I told him he could mail me a check instead. Jose told me, I am with a right person here and I will be able to make a testimony for my friend. I told him again, just mail me a check. He asked me for my address and then my email address. I told him I don't do email. He said I need to email to get the reference number for the check to be mailed to me. Jose asked if I knew how to get my reference number and if there's a close store around me. I told him I didn't know. Jose told me I need to be assured there is a store open if we got what we need. I asked him what he needed. He told me I need to get a $100 Apple card for the reference number and to let him know once I have the card. I told Jose I have a box of them. I bought 24 Apple cards for a kid's orphanage. He told me the card must be new and not used. I told him I don't drive. He asked me how I got the ones for the orphanage then. So I told him my daughter took me and she doesn't live with me. He told me to take a taxi to the store and go get a card and let him know when I get it. I told him the pastor is coming to pick up the 24 cards at 7 a.m. and he's taking them to the orphanage. Jose told me to show him the ones I had bought for the orphanage, take pictures of them. I asked him if I mail the card and told him my camera's not working, and there's baby oil spilled on the lens of the camera. He gave me a cash payment email address and told me to send photos of these cards. I told him no, again, I don't do email. I told him the 24 cards are $100 each, and he replied saying 24? Send them via email so he can check them. Take pictures of them and send them through email right now, he demanded. I told him again my camera's blurry, and I ended up sending him a picture of the front of a gift card with very blurry and lighted out photo. He told me to take a picture of the back of the card, and I sent him a very faded picture where you can't see any of the numbers. He asked for the codes on the back of the card, and I told him I don't know what codes are, and he circled the photo where the codes should be. I told him they're for the orphans. The 24 cards had not been scratched yet, and he told me to scratch the cards and show him. And I told him no, the orphans will scratch the cards. Jose told me I need the code to receive my check and that it'll be mailed to the address I give him, and I can give the check to the orphans. I told him the cards are being picked up, and he asked me when will I get another $100 card, and I told him, well, maybe tomorrow. Jose asked what time so he could be here and chat. I told him that I'll tell my son to get it, and about this glitch Cash App promotion you keep telling me about. He will ask hundreds of questions because his work is with the Bureau. Jose told me to keep it a secret from my son so he doesn't ask too much questions about it. I told him why. I tell my son everything, and my son saved me from being scammed from a PCH giveaway. Jose told me yes, it's true, but he might say that this is a scam too, and he didn't want me to miss the opportunity because this only happens once a month. I told Jose if my son says it's a scam, then he is doing his job, and Jose replied again, telling me, "This is not a scam, okay?" I told him my son will take my phone away for a couple of days to investigate, and Jose said, "Whenever he does is for your good. So, what time will you get the card?" I told him that after my son investigates. He has a guy that can do something with the history to see where all my messages are coming from and run it through their other giveaways to see if it's legit. Jose told me he knows that's why we need to keep it from him and just go pick one of the 24 cards for the orphans and give it to him so he can send my check. I told him no, the pastor needs all 24 of those gift cards, and he asked me how I will get the cards to the pastor. I told him that the pastor will pick them up and some pies. Jose asked again how much the cards are, and I told him again 24 cards in total, $100 each. He told me to pick one, take pictures, and when I asked him why, Jose said the pastor can pick up the rest, just pick one card because he wants me to get my check. He then sent his so-called ID to me in chat and how I can trust him. Of course, the ID was fake, and he said I can trust him with the cards and show him a picture of the scratched off card. I told him no, the orphans are going to scratch the back of their cards. He told me he can help the orphans with cards, and I told him no, the pastor's coming to pick them up. Jose made one last-ditch effort by telling me that since he has shown me his ID that he can be trusted. And suddenly Jose also had an orphanage around him. So I told him to give the $3,200 that he was going to give me to the orphans. He said okay, and then said take a picture of the card, show the back of the card. He kept saying it. One card, send one card, scratch the back of the card, send the number, send the card. I asked him where he's from, and he said Texas. I told Jose I will mail him a book with money and put the money inside the pages of the book and send it to him, and I sent him a photo of $100 bills. I'll mail it to the ID address that was on the photo you sent me. He said no, just send the card. He asked for my phone number, then said no, he had moved. He said he's on the streets and he needs the card to get himself a good homes. Give me your number so I can text you. And I told him no. Send me your new address that's on your new license, or have a good day. Jose replied to me saying he guesses there is no help from you, but the Lord asked for help. I told him this all sounds fishy. He said nothing sounds fishy, okay? You're going to send the pastor all 24 of the cards? I told him if you're living on the street, an Apple gift card is the last thing you need, and you're deceiving. Jose said he's not deceiving, and I asked him who he works for, and he said, I need one card for the shelter, me and the kids on the street. I told him no one takes gift cards as payment for shelter. He asked if I'm sending him the card or not, and I told him I'll help you. And I asked him what store he's near. He replied he's not near any store. Send the card. Send it here. I told him goodbye. I did ask if he's in Nigeria, and he said, why and what Nigeria? I asked him if he's lived there, and he said he didn't think so. I told him that I usually give imposters a chance to confess, and then I help them and then block them, but since you're an imposter who's too stubborn to come clean, I'll just block you. Goodbye. And I blocked him. Story 2. This story starts with a friendly hello from a person claiming to be Kevin Costner, the famous actor on Yellowstone. I knew this was a scammer. I played along with him and said hello. He wanted to know if I watched any of his movies, and I said a few and asked him to name some. He immediately changed the subject. He continued with the common scammer questions, so I decided to really mess with him. Kevin said hello and asked how I was doing and what I'm doing right now. I told him I was having coffee. He asked how long I've been a fan, and I told him a while. Kevin asked if I've watched any of his movies, and I told him probably some of his old ones. He asked for my photos and if I'm married or single, where I live, and what I did for work. I laughed and told him I'm retired, and he commented that I must be a hard-working woman and asked if I have Telegram. I told the fake Kevin Costner no, I don't use Telegram. He told me to download it so we can chat there, and I told him no thanks. I decided to ask him how many naira, aka Nigerian dollars, can he get for a $250 Foot Locker card or a $50 iTunes card. He said he didn't understand me, and I told him I was sorry I was helping a young man in Nigeria and I was asking him which card he needed this week, that I had messaged you, Kevin, by accident. Kevin then became very interested and asked if I have the cards, and I told him yes, I was waiting for the young Nigerian man to get back to me. Fake Kevin Costner told me to send the cards to him. He wants to see them. I told fake Kevin to wait as my Nigerian friend just answered. Kevin kept saying, "Send the card, let me see. Send it to me before you send it to him." I sent the front of the card and said, "Hold on, I have to send the codes to my Nigerian friend online." Fake Kevin Costner started to demand I scratch the back and send the code. "Send the code, dear, send it now." I told him I have to go. My puppy got out. "Send the code," he kept demanding. I told him, "Oh, it's okay. My neighbor found my puppy." Fake Kevin said okay and then asked if I'm sending the card. I told him my granddaughter sends him to her friend in Nigeria. He asked me why. And I told him my granddaughter's been chatting to this nice Nigerian friend for 2 years and I help him pay all his bills until college is finished. And I asked Kevin, "Why is it your business?" Fake Kevin said, "Get me the card. I'll use it to activate my computer." I told him, "You can do that yourself." Kevin demanded a $200 Apple card. "Do it. Get the card. Do it. Do it. Do it," he kept saying over and over again. I told him, "No, Mr. Rich Man, get your own." Kevin said, "No, you'll do it for me when I ask." And he said, "Because you can." He kept repeating to get the card. "Get it, get it now. I love you. Just get the card for me, darling, so my manager can activate my computer system." I told him, "You can do it. You're a billionaire. Have your manager do it for you." Fake Kevin Costner was extremely pushy and kept saying, "Do it, send it." I told him, "Look, I don't even know you. I'm not spending my money on you." Kevin asked why I'm not getting him the card. It was pretty annoying, and he kept begging for the card and wrote me a note, too. I told him, "You just met me today. I thought Kevin Costner was a real man. Now I see he just wants someone to take care of him." I told him, "I'll order you a card. What's your credit card number?" Kevin was getting pushy by this time and told me just to go get the card. Get it now. My manager will not allow me to send my credit card. Just go buy me a card." I told him, "Your computer problem is not my problem." I told fake Kevin I will not spend my money on a billionaire, and he kept telling me, "Go to Walmart. Go now. Tell me when you've bought my card." I finally told him he's become a pain in the ass and I won't buy a card for a billionaire, and I blocked him. He was extremely pushy. We'd like to thank this lady for sharing her encounters. Unfortunately, for scammers, these gift cards are just as good as cash, and they are very thirsty for these cards, and they demand them all the time. And keep in mind, real celebrities are not asking strangers online for gift cards. They don't need your money. They don't need your gift cards. They don't need anything. And if you ever come across somebody online who's demanding and telling you to do something and go do it now, just block them. They're not worth your time. They're just scammers, and they're pushy ones at that. Stay safe.